Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about why I think the Washington Commanders wide receiving core will be much improved in 2022 and why I think they could be one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL if everything goes right. I'll be comparing this year's wide receiving core to last year's core, and I'll also show you guys some highlights from each of the top guys in OTA so far. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications and hit that like button. Now, let's get right into the video. Really, since 2017, the Washington Commanders receivers, besides Terry McLaurin, have just been awful. I mean, there's been some okay names there, since then, like, Cam Sims has been okay, and some other guys as well. But for the most part, it's been Terry and no one else after they had that great receiving core of Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garcon, and Jameson Crowder. It's really been Terry and then some no-name guys. It's just been bad. And I feel like this year is one of the first years where we could actually have a solid unit. I mean, you look at like 2020 where, it was Terry McLaurin and then Cam Sims, who was solid that year. And then after that, it was Robert Foster, Jeff Badette, Dontrell Inman, AGG. I mean, it's just like, how is Terry and this offense supposed to succeed with those wide receivers? It's not going to work. And they added, Jahan Dotson this offseason. Curtis Samuel is feeling healthy, 100% he says, so that'll also help. Dyami Brown, it's going to be his second year. We'll see what he can do. And I think Carson Wentz will also improve this wide receiving core as well. So we're going to talk about that. I mean, it's been since 2017 that the Commanders have had two 500+ wide receivers, so that doesn't count obviously tight ends and running backs. That is insane. That is pathetic, and I think that will change this year. I think we could have 3, maybe even 4 guys that hit over 500 yards this season, which shows how much improved our wide receiving core is. Let's first start off with Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson is going to help us out a lot and is going to be an insurance policy if one of our other guys gets hurt. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But, we got Terry and Curtis and now Jahan. I love, Jahan Dotson so far. He looks really good. I wasn't in love with the pick at the time, but I do like the player. That is the most important part for right now in this video. And Jahan Dotson's look good in OTAs. And again, it's just OTAs, but he's developing a good connection with Carson Wentz. He's got great hands, good agility, able to make some juke moves, good change of direction, good change of speed. And I'm excited to see what Jahan Dotson can do for this offense. Do I think he's going to go out there and get you 1,000+ yards? No, but I think it's reasonable to expect him to get you 650 to 850. Like, I know that's kind of a big range, but I think he'll be somewhere in that range, and that's much improved from what we had last year as our second receiver option, our receiving option. So I think that'll definitely help out a ton. He's going to take attention away from Terry McLaurin, which is good. But also, Terry obviously is still going to be the first option, but teams have been able to double him and stuff like that in the past. And now where you have, Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel, it's going to be hard to put all that attention on Terry. And if you do, one of those guys is going to be open, and that's going to help us out a ton. So there's been a few different clips from Jahan Dotson in training camp or in OTA so far. So you guys, I've posted on my channel before some highlights, but here's a clip right here, just kind of showing his good hands, his catch radius right there, his route running, nice catch right there. I don't know who threw it, but it's a nice catch nonetheless right there. Had to leap up and get it. I'm excited for Jahan Dotson. I really, really am. Might have to cop a jersey, but he's really good. He's a huge part in why I think this receiving core will be much better. Like, even, he's just at the minimum an insurance policy if one of the top guys goes down, and he might be that top guy besides Terry. He might be that second option on the team. And then, Curtis Samuel's the next guy. Like, I had big expectations for Curtis Samuel last year. You look at his stats, every single year in Carolina, they went up, and I was thinking it was going to be the same thing this year. And of course, he has that groin injury, really didn't have a season. Like, he played in a couple games, but he wasn't really playing, guys. Let's keep it real. So, I mean, it was a huge blow, not having him there, because again, you had Terry and then really no one else. Adam Humphries, DeAndre Carter, Cam. Like, just think about those names. Like, those guys are not number 2, number 3 options on a team, and that's what they were. So Curtis Samuel, he's going to add a lot to this offense. Him and Jahan, and Terry can all play in all different spots. Like, Curtis can play on the slot and outside. Like, he's the most diverse guy, can also line up out of the backfield. Terry can play on the outside. That's where he's going to play most of the times, but he also can play in the slot. Same thing with Jahan Dotson. So I love the versatility of these wide receivers, can really play anywhere. But Curtis Samuel going to be doing all sorts of things and, going to do some end arounds, just going to open things up for sure. Obviously, played with Ron Rivera and Scott Turner, so he knows the system, inside and out. And, another good third option. And, obviously last year really sucked that he was out. But, here's a clip of him running in OTAs. He looks good. He looks like, he is 100% healthy. I don't know why it's going in slow motion there. Computer's a little laggy, but he looks good. That is really, really important, because if he didn't look good, if he was limited at all in these OTAs and training camp sessions, like, that would be very, very concerning. But he looks good. He looks quick. This is a rainy day, and he's still able to, go in and out of his breaks and, make sharp turns. His cuts look good. He looked good right there. Here's another clip of him actually catching a pass. I think this was from Wentz. You guys see it right here. Throws it to him. He's able to, do a spin move right there and, make a couple guys miss. And that was nice. You love to see it from Curtis Samuel right there. And just, Curtis Samuel being back is going to make our receiving corps so much better than it was last year, because Curtis Samuel is so much better than whoever was our number 2, whoever you want to consider our number 2 receiver last year, whether it was Cam Sims, Adam Humphries, whatever it was. Like, he's much better than any of those guys, and he could beat, like, he was on track. He went from like 600 to 850, 850 yards in his last year. Like, he was on track to go to 1,000 in his next year. And, not saying he was going to do that, but like, he is that type of guy where he's going to get you, if healthy, 850 to like 1,000 yards. Like, I think he can do that. He's that type of player, still very young. I think he might be younger than Terry McLaurin. So I think he's going to add a lot to this team. I think he's going to be, put up maybe a little bit better numbers than, Jahan Dotson, but in that same range. And I think Jahan Dotson in his second year, that's when he's going to be like 900 to 1,050, 1,100. But he's a huge boost. I'm excited to see what he can do this year. I really, really am. Then you go to Dyami Brown. No, I am not expecting Dyami Brown to go out there and get us 750, 800 yards this year. But I think Dyami Brown will be better than he was last year. I mean, it's, hard for him not to be. He wasn't great last year for sure, but I think he will be better year 2. I think playing on special teams really helped him out in terms of just, being a reality check for him, and he's been grinding this off season. So I think Dyami Brown, and here's a clip of him, I think Dyami Brown will be better this year, and I'm not expecting, like, I don't need Dyami Brown, sorry, I just want to do a full screen. I don't need Dyami Brown to go out there and get us 750 yards, 800 yards, but just take a jump. Go from whatever he was at 200, 250, go from that to maybe 400 or 500. Like, that is a big jump, and again, we didn't have a 500 plus yard receiver last year, or the year before, or the year before. So, like, even someone who has 400 yards this year is going to be a boost to this offense. It really is. So, if he can do that, I think that'll help. I think no doubt he's going to be better than he was last year. The question is, how much better? Is he good enough to be that 4th option on this team? Because we know the first 3 options, Terry, Curtis, and Jahan. Those are the top 3 guys. After that, though, there's a competition. Is it, Cam Sims? Is it Dyami? So, let's see if Dyami can take that 4th spot. And, there's going to be some times where he even is that 3rd receiver if there's a guy out for a couple games. I mean, hopefully not, but, like, there's likely going to be a game where maybe Terry, Jahan, or Curtis, one of those guys, misses a game. And, if they do, Dyami's going to be starting. And he's going to need to, produce. And let's hope he can, but I think he's going to be better. And with all of these guys, this is what you have to consider. They are going to, especially the guys that are on this team last year, they're going to benefit from better quarterback play. Carson Wentz is significantly better than Taylor Heinicke. I love Taylor Heinicke. I love the story. He's a good backup, maybe a very low-tier starter. So their numbers are going to be better. They're going to be better than they were last year just because of that, and I'll expand on that point a little bit later. This, receiving core, though, it does have speed. You look at it, Jahan Dotson 4.43. I think honestly he's faster than that. You watch, his highlights or his film. He's faster than 4.43. And I think I read something that like he was hurt or something. I don't know. Curtis Samuel 4.3 140. Terry McLaurin 4.3 540. And then Gibson, he's not in the receiving room, but he was a receiver 4.39. And Dyami Brown 4.44. These guys are burners. They've got the speed, and yeah, I'm just excited to see what this receiving core can do, because this is the first time in a while where I look at this receiving core and I'm like, man, this is going to be a solid room for sure. I felt much better last year about the receiving core, but then of course Curtis Samuel gets hurt, and then you realize how thin that room is afterwards. And now you got Terry, Curtis, and Jahan Dotson for sure, who I think are going to be solid options. Jahan Dotson isn't a guarantee, but I think he is, pro ready, and I think he's going to be solid. And then Dyami Brown, after that, you got some potential in Dyami, maybe even Cam Sims and Dax Milne. I love this room right here. Just hope they can stay healthy. I think Terry, with the good QB, and not only a good QB, but good receivers around him, I think he will get over 1,200 yards for the first time in his career, and finally get the respect he deserves as a top 10 receiver, because he hasn't produced like a top 10 receiver. That doesn't mean he isn't one. I think he is, or at least close to a top 10 receiver, and I think he'll be able to produce like one this year with Carson Wentz and with Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel in this offense. So let me know what you guys think about this receiving core. Where would you rank it amongst other units, other receiving rooms in the NFL? I don't think it's, top 5, but I think it's above average for sure. And if Jahan Dotson hits and he's better than we expect, and Curtis Samuel's what we expect, I think this could be a top 10 room for sure. Much better than last year. I mean, just think about it. You go from, I'm not counting Curtis Samuel because he wasn't really playing last year. You go from Terry, Adam Humphries, DeAndre Carter, Dax Milne, and a little bit of Cam Sims. He wasn't playing much last year, to Terry, Curtis, Jahan Dotson, year 2 Dyami Brown, Cam Sims, and then Dax Milne in his second year. Like, that's much better. A lot better for sure. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, guys.